Introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Yes. This is Akash. I am from Pune. I have completed my schooling and all the education from Pune itself with distinctions. And in 2025, after that, I have joined two organizations. I have worked on different technologies like Java, MySQL, Oracle, Spring Boot, and AWS Cloud as well. So yeah, and in that I have worked on various projects like finance domain, HR domain, as well as some internal projects as well. So in that I have gained lots of hands-on experience, and I'm like perfect in the Java currently. So currently I'm looking for the opportunity so that I can enhance my all that skills more and more. Yeah, so that's the all from my side.
Okay. Explain OOP principle with real example.
Okay, so in Java, OP stands for object oriented programming. So object oriented programming means all the things are which is written in Java are surrounded with objects like methods are there, classes, and variables are all the binded with the objects. So basically there are four pillars in Java, OP pillars in Java. One is inheritance, second is abstraction, third is a polymorphism, and fourth is encapsulation. So inheritance means to achieving the child class property in the parent class property into the child class. So like if you take the example of class A and class B. So when in a class A there is a method called print method, and we also created a class B with extending that class, and created again a method, class B method. So class B can access class A method as well as, and the class B method its own method as well as. So if you take the real example of in inheritance, so we can take the example of parent child relationship in our humans. So in humans, like if parent have some issues like health related issue or something, that is going to be inherited into its child's as well as. So if you take the DNA, so DNA also going to match in your child. So that is the inheritance property in real life. So the next OP principle is uh, uh, polymorphism. Polymorphism means so ability to take many forms. So ability to take many forms in the coding example. If you take the example of, if there is a method sum which will take two parameter and perform the action. At the same name there is another method which will take three parameter, that is going to perform three numbers addition. Again also that is so with the same name there is another method which is going to take four input, and that input going to be performed as addition and return the result. So that is the coding example totally. So if you take the real life example, if you take the example of a woman, so he can be a wife of someone, a child of someone, a daughter of someone, a mother of someone, or if he is working, so he's employee of someone. So that is the many form that he is taking, depends upon the situation. So that is the polymorphism. So next will be the encapsulation. Encapsulation means binding the data into single entity. So if you take the example of in Java, so if there is a class which having private variable, all the variables are private, but there is a methods which is getter and setter. So that methods will help you to get the data of that variable and set the data into that variable. So that is Java coding example of encapsulation. So if you take the real example of encapsulation, if you take the school bag example, so school bag contains like your pen, pencil, rubber, all notebooks into a single entity, which is bag. So that is the real life example of encapsulation. Remaining is abstraction. Abstraction is a property where you only show the essential details to the user, and the which is non-essential details, which is hide from the from the user, which is don't need to understand the user. So if you take the example of Java, in that if you create a interface and which is having a multiple method, and which is abstracts method basically, and there will be a another class which is implementing that interface and writing the all necessary logic for that method. So if a user wants to access this functionality, so he only wants to call that interface method, which is declared in the interface. If on he wants to call another functionality, he can call again the second method, but he don't know the actually the what is background logic is written in the classes. He can access only the interfaces, which is necessary to access that functionality. So that is the Java example. So if you take the real life example, we can take the a car example. In that if you want to drive a car, so in that case you don't need to know how engine exactly work, how his like fuel get into it, and how his combustion works. So that is the thing you don't want to know. You want to know like only thing is that how to accelerate. In that case bike or car will go ahead. If you press the brake, bike will stop or car will stop, and that is the two functionality you only know, so to drive a car. So that is the real example. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, what is the difference between double equal and equal match?
Okay, so double equal and equals are basically used in Java to for the comparison. So double equals is the operator which is used to compare the objects, and dot equal method is used also to compare the object, but it's have a different comparison. How it is comparing is, so if you take double equals, in that case it will check only the object reference in that case, and if you take the equals method, it will check the actual value inside that object. So if that value is match, then will it will be returned true, or else it will return fail. So object if there is a different object but its value is same, in that case it will return true. And if in the equals method, equals equal operator, if the value inside is different but object is same, like object pointing to the same memory location, in that case it will return true. Yeah.
Okay. What is difference between a list and linked list?
Okay, so array list and linked list are the implementation of linked interface, link collection in that. So array list is used for list interface. Array list is used for the storing the values, a collection of values. Like if you take the example of there is a number of integer values which is going to be stored into the array list. Same value can be stored into the uh, a linked list as well, but there is a certain difference in the background in that. So array list is using the continuous array or dynamic array inside it to store the value, but where is in linked list, it is using the doubly linked list, which is having nodes. In that node it will have a previous node id and the next node id. So that is the like what how exactly it's working in the bank. And if take the like faster priority or which time we have to use in that case, so if you take the array list, so in that case you will need you will get faster results searching and sorting. And in the linked list you will get odd like updation deletion, we will get faster in the linked list. That's it.
Okay. What is difference between HashMap and asset?
Okay, so HashMap and HashSet are also the collection frameworks parts. So HashMap is the implementation of map interface, and HashSet is implementation of set interface. So HashMap stores the key value pair data structure, whereas set store only uh, values, which is like sing objects. It will not store key value data. So also in the hash set, it will allow not allow duplicate, and it will allow only null, one single null value. And in the map, it also allowed you single null value, but it will not allow you null key. It will not allow you uh, null duplicate key. So that's it.
Okay, what is difference between string builder, and string buffer?
Okay, so string builder and string buffer are the string classes. String is a immutable class, and string builder is also is mutable class, and buffer is immutable class. So based upon the situation, we can use all the threes. So if you want a thread safety, you can go for the string as well as string buffer, which is all thread safe. And if you don't want to thread safe but you want to performance, then you can go for the builder. So in that case, what will happen, if you frequently change the string value, if you go with the string, it will create that many times it will create the objects. So and if we take with the string builder, you whatever time it will like we will change the value, it will not like create that much object, it will change into that particular object. So it why this is immutable object, because and string buffer is immutable. And for the synchronization, like in multi-threading, we can go for the string and string buffer, because both are the thread safe. Yeah.
Okay, what is exception handling? Difference between checked and unchecked exception.
Okay, so exception handling is a process of handling unwanted event in your system. So if you like take the example of, if there is something like if you something written wrong in your code, in that case exception will occur, and at that time your application or your code will be crash. So that is exception basically. So how to handle that in Java? There is a basically uh, ways provided by Java, which is like try catch block we can use. In that case, if we return whatever logic which is like throwing the exception, that will going to write into try block, and whatever exception will occur, that will going to be catch into the catch block. So there will be no crashing of our application. So that's how we can use like try catch block to handle the exception in Java. Yeah.
Okay, what is difference between final, finalize, and finally?
Okay, so finally, and finalize, right? So finally is a keyword which is used with classes, method, and variables. So and finally is a key. Finally is a block of exception handling, where it is used with try catch block. And finally is a method which is garbage collector method, which is going to be called by the JVM only. So finally, if you take the example of final is a keyword which if you write it with the classes, then that class will be uh, immutable basically. We cannot inherit that class basically. So we cannot inherit that class. If we take the method as a final, in that case we cannot override that method. If you take the example of final variables, so in that case we cannot change its value. So that is the use of final keyword. Finally is a block where you will write the logic which is going to be execute in any situation, like if there is exception occur or not. So that finally block will going to be execute that logic whatever the situation is, like if there is exception or not. And the finally is, sorry, the finalize is the method which is going to be invoke the garbage collector in Java. So yeah, that's the difference between all the three.
Okay, what happen if you override hash code but not equal method?
Okay, what happened with the if you override hash code and equal method, right?
Right.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, so we go to next question.
Okay, okay, thanks.
How does HashMap internally work?
Okay, so HashMap. Okay, so HashMap is a data structure which is used to store the key value pair. So when you create a HashMap and start try to insert value in that, it will like it will take the key and it's generate its hash code. And that hash code will like hash code will be the integer number. So based upon the integer number it will decide how, in which bucket the we have want to store that value. So basically hash map using the buckets to store the data our key value data. So if there is a if there is a put operation in that, it will check basically if there is a bucket already exist in that with that key. So if that key is found that bucket and that bucket also have the value, so in that case it will rerun the dot equals method, and it will try to find that that particular value of that particular bucket is same or not. So if the value is same in that bucket, it will replace that value of that particular key. So or in if the value is not matching with that particular key, in that case it will create a new node and insert that node into that bucket and put that value new value into that node. So that is how it exactly working in the background. Basically it have default 16 buckets. So if there is 75% buckets are filled, so in that case it will increase its capacity. So yeah, that's how like hashmap works internally.
Okay, so what is collision in HashMap?
Okay,
In
so
HashMap, sorry.
okay, collision, yeah. So collision is a situation where a hash code method will generate same hash code for the different keys. So if like suppose there is a example of Akash, which in that hash code generated some number, random number, and for the Yash as well, he have generated the some random number. So in that case, if that random number which is going to be point to the same bucket in the hash map, so in that case the collision will occur. So like which value we have to store or which value we want to delete. So Java how handle that collision? It will create a it will check dot equal method in that case and try to find the values of that both name the hash codes, that particular keys are same or different. So if value is different, then it will create a new node in that bucket and put the new value into that node, and that node going to be put into again that bucket. So that's how Java handles the collision. Yeah.
Okay, how would you remove duplicate from the list?
Okay. So removing a duplicate in the list is like we can have the manual way as well, while we can iterate through a loop and find the which value is duplicate and we'll remove that. And if we take the advantage of Java, so we can go for the hash set. If it is having a property of it is not going to store duplicate values, So that will be the next way we can remove that duplicate value from the list. Yeah.
Okay. Difference between comparable and comparator.
Okay, comparable and comparator, right? Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so basically I haven't like no like idea on that basically, but I have basic overview. So base both are the use for the like comparison purpose, which is having comparable having the compare method, and comparator having compare to method. So comparable which is going to be work with the class which is going to be entity class, so that in that we will going to implements the compare method. So that particular class will or entity will going to be self comparable. And for the comparator, we can use it for the multiple type of comparison for that particular class. So we based upon the situation, will create a multiple comparison classes, and in that we are going to use compare method. So yeah, so that's the thing.
Okay. What is dependence injection?
No, no, I can't hear you properly. Can you repeat?
Okay. Sorry. What is dependence injection?
Dependency injection, right?
Right.
Okay, okay. So, dependency injection is part of Spring Boot, Spring framework basically, not Spring Boot. So, dependency injection is a like a process of injecting dependent classes or object into that particular bean. When Spring try to create a object or bean of particular class, so in that class if there is a another class reference, so that class object should going to be injected by the Spring by itself to create that particular class object. So that is the Spring dependency injection.
Okay. 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
Difference between I am audible. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay. Difference between added compound, added service, and added
Repository.
repository.
Okay, okay. So both are the annotations, which is a stereotype annotation in Spring Boot or Spring, we can say. So basically, at the rate component, at the rate service, and at the rate repository, which is having different purposes. Like at the rate component is going to be create a bean of a particular class, which is like having properties, and if there is dependency injection, it will inject that particular dependency into that. So that is the component. If you take the at the rate service, which is also stereotype annotation, it is also the advanced form of the component at the rate component, but having the different purpose. So it is going to used with service layer, which is having the business logic, the classes which is having the business logic of your application. So that is where we can use at the rate service. So and the at the rate repository, at the rate repository, which we are going to use at the DAO layer of your application, where the DB operation is going to be performed, and there is a reading and writing in your DB. So that is where we can use at the rate repository. So there is a like advantages while using all the three annotation with their different positions. Like if you write the at the rate repository on the repository layer, it will handle your exception and translate that exception into the meaningful Spring exception. And for the service, it is also like giving the ideas to the developer. Yeah, this is the business logic, where all the things, business logic is written in your application. Yeah.
Okay. So what is annotation REST controller?
Okay, REST control annotation, right? Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, REST controller is an annotation which is part of Spring as well. So it is used to create a REST services in or expose REST services in the Spring Boot. So if you like creating if you are creating an application with a Spring Boot, so in that case we'll use at the rate REST annotation. It is a combination of at the rate controller as well as at the rate response body. So it is a combination of two annotations. So basically it will take the input as a JSON string and return the input as a JSON string as well, JSON string. So yeah, so basically we are used it to create a REST endpoint. So basically when you your application will start, so in that case the point entry point of the particular application is going to be REST controller annotation. Yeah.
Okay. Difference between annotation request palm and annotation path variable.
Okay, so annotation request param and path variable, right?
Right.
Okay, 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 okay. So both are used with at the controller layer to handle the request from which is going to be sent by the client. And in that case, path param is used to pick the data uh, from the URL itself. And which is next, path param and
Right.
request param, right?
No. Annotation path variable. Sorry.
Path variable
Yes.
and path param, right?
Right.
Okay, so yeah, path variable which is going to be no, I'm sorry. That-
No. No.
no, no, sorry, I don't know.
Okay. So we will go to next question. What is annotation auto wired?
Okay, at the rate auto wire annotation, right? Okay. So at the rate auto wire is going to be used for the dependency injection. So if there when like Spring, when if there is a dependency of a particular class in the particular service layer, control layer, or any other, like where the bean objection is going to be bean injection is going to be there. So in that case we are going to use at the rate auto for the dependency injection. Yeah.
Okay. What is application property used for?
Okay, so application dot property file is used for the store the properties of our applications. Yeah, so like there is a property called like application name, or application dot application port number, or if there is a data properties like where the db credentials, db details. And yeah, so that's the thing we can use where the application properties.
Okay. What is sorry? How do you connect Spring Boot to MyQ? Spring Boot
Okay, okay, okay.
to MyQ.
So Uh, so for the connecting to the MySQL, we are using application.properties. In that, we are going to put all the properties related to connection details like URL, where is the MySQL DB running, what is the password, what is its username, and what is the dialect, or what type of driver that is going to be used for that connection. Yeah, all that things we can write in the application properties to connect with the DB. Yeah.
Okay. What is REST?
Okay, REST is a protocol, we can say. So it is a standard where we can like expose our APIs and to communicate with different applications based upon the protocol. Like there is protocols like JSON. We can use JSON, XML to communicate with the front end application, as well as other application which is written in different languages. So for that purpose we can write the REST.
Okay. Difference between get and post.
Okay, so GET and the POST are the HTTP request methods where GET is used for the data from the server side. Like if you want to data from the server or from the application, in that case you will write the at the rate GET method, and for the post method going to be write at the rate post. In that case will where the user will send the data to the server, where the user will going to be data sent to the server. In that case will going to be post method of the HTTP.
Okay. What is HTTP status code? 200, 201, 400, and 404, as well as 500.
Okay, so for that is all the rest what we can say the mm numbers, not numbers, what we can say, it's status of the particular request and the response of that particular request. So basically when you send the request, it will return some response with the some status code. So 200 series is for the creation, and it's basically it's for the like everything is okay. So 200 is okay, 201 is created, and others are also there. So 200 is for like see all the everything is going to be correct. 3 400 series is for the client side issue, whereas 404 is for like not found, 403 is for forbidden, and 40401 I think there is also 401 as well. So but that is all from the client side issue, and 500 series is for the server side issue, where the user is going to be request the particular some resource or URL. So that URL having the issue at the backend side, which is throwing that issue, which is 500. So basically server having some issue, there is no issue in client request. So that is where the 500 series came into the picture. 500 for the server side issues. Yeah.
Okay. What is JSON?
JSON. Okay, so JSON is a representational type, or we can say it's a type of it's similar to the XML, like for the data passing from one application to the another application. So in that case we are using the JSON. Yeah.
Okay. How do you handle exception in Spring Boost? So
Okay.
Spring Boot.
Okay, okay. So Spring Boot having the different provide the different types where we can handle the exception. So basically, we can have a normal Java try catch exception in Spring Boot as well. We can have a local exception handling in particular class as well. So as well as there is a global exception where all the applications going to be through exception, which is handled into a same central location, which is going to be global exception handler. So in that case we are going to use at the rate or rest at a control advice, which is the annotation at the class level. In that case we'll write the whatever exception we want to handle in that particular application, which is going to be written into that particular class, which is going to be handle that particular annotation. So for the local we are going to be create I think might not write of my answer. For the local there is annotation for the local as well. So in that case for all the whatever class which is written, there will be a central exception handler in that particular class, which is going to be handle all the exception occurring to that particular class. And for the try catch, we can have the like normal try catch at every method. In that case, we'll handle that in the normal way. So that is where we Spring Boot provided three ways to handle the exception.
Okay. Write a program to search a integer from air.
Okay, so can you like uh, repeat that question?
Write a program to search a integer of a integer from air.
Okay, 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 okay. So basically, you are, I am repeating that question basically. So what I understand is like I want to search a integer from the array, right?
Right.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm like sharing my screen and like start uh, solving that.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have done with my solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's looking good.